How's it going, guys? My name is Damien. Welcome back. Bringing you my review of The Flash Season 2, Episode 8, the crossover between The Flash and Arrow, the two-night event that will continue tomorrow night. This was a really good episode, an amazing episode in many ways. In my opinion, the episode with Zoom was still better, but nonetheless, it was still a really well done episode. There's a lot that they had to juggle, and they did a pretty good job of trying to balance out screen time. Some characters felt left out a little bit, but that's really just because of where the plot was going and who the main characters were for the episode. Certain characters had to be the focal point, and they couldn't kind of give screen time to some side characters that are for respective teams, Team Arrow, Team Flash, that really just they're not that big of a deal for this specific episode, but they naturally had to do that because there's only so much screen time you can split up with all the characters. So let's get right into it. It was a really good episode. Like I said, Vandal Savage was the focal point, and you can see here that, again, this is another episode, like I said in some of my previous reviews, that they need to set up Legends of Tomorrow, and this is what they did. They set him up as the big bad for that show, and by establishing that he's been around for thousands of years, and also connecting Hawkgirl, Kendra Saunders, getting her character to awaken was another big plot line that they had to establish so that she could move over to Legends of Tomorrow as well as, and then Hawkman he's gonna be there as well. So you have those characters. They really had to kind of get the ball rolling with those characters to move them over to that show, because that show is coming in January. But I'll say that it felt a little bit like it was a little disjointed, because Vandal Savage, his character was just kind of thrown in there, and even though they could try to write or say that this is why he had to show up in that episode, it felt a little convenient, you know what I mean? Like he could have shown up much earlier than that, realistically, if he's drawn to her and is looking to kill her in every single life so he can get stronger, which is what his character has done in the comics. They could have easily introduced him earlier, but I'm not going to, deduct any points or too many points for that, because it was still a really good episode. And his introduction, even though it felt, some people who are not familiar with his character would feel really lost, like he's coming out of nowhere. But if you're going to watch Legends of Tomorrow, then you definitely are going to be seeing a lot more of him. So his introduction was, for the most part, it was pretty good. Just the fact that he felt like just out of nowhere and you have no idea who this guy is. But I was actually hoping they would have Adam in the episode. Maybe he'll be on tomorrow night. But after that, they really started just kind of throwing a bunch of stuff at you. Getting all these characters together. Everyone just kind of... It also felt really odd to me, too, when Barry decided, hey, let's go leave Kendra with Oliver, or take her to Star City. She'll be safe there. That also felt like a little out of nowhere. Like they were just kind of doing that conveniently because it's the crossover. But they had some really good crossover scenes. It was really good. The fight with Hawkman was pretty good. I like that. That was cool. Then them teaming up a little bit after that. And ultimately the high note for the episode was Kendra Saunders flying. And Vandal Savage, his fight scenes with Team Arrow, Team Flash, those were pretty good as well. The Flash and Arrow at the end of the episode teaming up to take him on, and they just kind of had to call it quits for now, and then they'll continue tomorrow night. So all in all, it was a pretty good episode. He was able to retrieve his artifact, and he's going to continue to be there. It's clearly not going to end with Arrow tomorrow night, as he's going to move on to Legends of Tomorrow. But it's going to be interesting to see how they juggle all three of these shows with crossovers and stuff like that, how characters are going to guest star on each show, because there's going to be a lot of storylines that they're going to have going at the same time. And they've done a really good job of writing Arrow and the Flash so far so that the crossovers can connect, and they really feel like they belong there. Like when they do them, there's it doesn't feel like it's two different shows. And that's what I like about Arrow and the Flash, is that the universe, they've done a really good job of acknowledging it, so that even when there's not a crossover, you still might get a slight reference to Central City and vice versa for Star City, or characters might show up every once in a while. Great things like that I really like. So hope they continue that kind of pace. Hope they do that with Legends of Tomorrow and keep all three shows in that universe so that you can really feel connected to all of them. But aside from that, I like the fight scenes. I would have liked some more, maybe a little bit more intense of a fight scene between the Flash and Arrow and Vandal Savage. The scene was good, but I guess maybe I'm just looking for more. I don't know. I guess the Zoom fight really just kind of set the bar really high, even though Zoom just like destroyed Barry. Something like that was just, I guess, what I was hoping for. But the actor playing Vandal Savage, he looks the part. He looks great. His acting was on point for that character. This is really one of the first depictions of Vandal Savage on TV. There was a character, Dean Cain played him on Smallville, I believe, and that was a long time ago. But it was really just one episode that he was there. And I'm actually not even sure if that was the character he played, but I remember that character being immortal, and it just came to mind as I'm doing this now, talking about Vandal Savage. I just remember that. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Comment down below. Like, do you guys enjoy the Flash crossovers? Like, do you like the team up? Sometimes it can feel like the Flash is going at 60 miles an hour and Arrow is only going at 10. So the Flash is like running, like the show, The Flash is just way ahead of Arrow in many ways. So sometimes when they come together, it can feel like that. But this time I thought they did a good job of keeping it balanced. And Oliver, that's the big end scene. Oliver finding out that his son is alive, that was really huge. The look on his face, of course, I saw in the promo that it looks like he tells Felicity tomorrow night, so that's going to be pretty huge. She's not going to be happy with that. I mean, no girl would. That's going to be shocking to anyone. So it might cause a little rift in Oliver and Felicity's camp for a little bit, but obviously they're going to come back together. So let me know what you guys think. Obviously, the person who's going to die, who Oliver visits at the grave, there's so many different people it could be. But people are saying that it's his son. People are saying that it could be the mother, Diggle, whoever. But leave comments down below. I'm mentioning this just due to the fact that he now knows that he has a son. I think that could possibly move the storyline along as far as who he's going to visit, or whose grave he's going to visit. So, Ra's al Ghul, Thea's dad, Malcolm, just kind of showing up conveniently. He just shows up randomly in like multiple scenes. I thought that was funny. The banter between all the characters throughout tonight's episode was great too. The dialogue was great. Cisco kind of got the short end there of the stick, because now that Hawkgirl is back, she's leaving. She's going to be with Hawkman. She's not going to be dating him anymore, so that sucks for him. No Barry and Patty scenes, really. There was one little scene, it was very short. And something big, I think, that really felt like just a side plot on this episode was Caitlin and Harrison Wells working on that little speed boost for Barry, or even Jay Garrick if you'd like it. And he also shows up in this episode. He'd been gone for a while, so it just kind of felt weird as well. Like, there was a couple things like that where I'm just kind of like nitpicking a little bit, where I felt they could have done a little bit. Like, his character really just felt like he was just completely gone, and then he just shows up after they call him. It's like, if it was that simple, I feel like he could have shown up a lot in more episodes. But I feel like what they're doing is they're going to sell the storyline of him not wanting to be around Harrison Wells and their history and stuff like that. But still, very, very noble of him to save Harrison's life at the end of the episode there, taking the serum and getting a little speed boost, and he was able to take the bullet out of Harrison Wells, which that was also a surprise. Patty Spivot shooting him, not expected. But a lot of things happening in this episode. So many things that they were juggling. It's really, really impressive. So multiple storylines going on. We'll see where they take it. Oliver finding out he has a son. Barry having to deal with Zoom, who has been MIA for weeks. And then we have Vandal Savage, who's setting up Legends of Tomorrow, Hawkman, Hawkgirl. Like, all these new heroes are being introduced. And it's really, really interesting to see how Oliver handles all of that too, because he's the only guy that's normal there. And of course, Team Arrow, they're all human characters. No one has powers, so it's interesting to see how they fit into this entire universe and their dynamic with other characters. So 9 out of 10 episode, not quite as good as the Zoom episode. Zoom, in my opinion, was a 9.7 out of 10. But let me know what you guys think as far as the episode goes. Like, did you like it? How much did you like it? And let me know if you want to compare it to some other episodes or last season's crossover. Feel free to do that as well. My name is Damien. I apologize for the late review for it going up later than normal. I apologize for scenes going up later than normal. I had a lot of issues with my computer, with Sony Vegas, and my recording software. The list goes on. It was a lot of trouble. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night. If you watch Gotham, check out my Gotham review. Feel free to check out my Gotham scenes on my other channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you for watching.